everyone, my name is Akwaaba and you're welcome to the Akwaaba Podcast. So today we have with us, we won't mention the name, you know how we do it here. Our guests would introduce themselves, right? And we'll take it from there. So as you know, my name is Akwaaba and I'm so happy to have you here. Join us on this amazing conversation. We know that you would learn a lot and you'll be so inspired at the end of the day. So tell us to our guests for today, sir. Can you please introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Basically.
Yeah, so my name is Dre Taylor with the Beyond Investments. I'm a developer here up in the Bree Mountains. And so I'm building some properties here, 7 homes, 8 duplexes, and 92 condo units, sustainable. So the houses are off-grid, rooftop pool, solar, battery backup. And so just trying to make the transition easier for those diasporians that want to return home and also provide options for those who are living here for sustainability property. So I've been here coming back since 2019, back and forth. Been here living permanently for 3.5 years now. I'm a dual citizen, so Ghana's now my home.
Beautiful. So you're talking about your journey with Beyond Investment, right? So we'll come there.
Okay.
But before we get there, we want to get to know you growing up, right? You've been in Ghana since 2019, or you've been coming and going since 2019. Since 2019,
yes.
And you've been fully embedded in Ghana since
about 2022.
Okay, so that's nice. So prior to 2019, we want to get to know Dre Taylor. Before 2019, where did you grow up? How was it like growing up? Basically you.
Yeah, so I grew up in a place called Kansas City, Missouri, in the United States. 2 brothers, 2 sisters. Played American football, track, basketball in school. Went to college and played football, messed up both my knees doing so. So I did a lot of things back home in Kansas City. Before I returned to Ghana, I was running a nonprofit, community nonprofit, giving free food to people in the community, thousands of free food. I got an agricultural patent, growing insects and raising fish. I had like 35,000 tilapia I was growing. I learned how to breed insects on the commercial level. I got a fruit orchard back home, so I got about 150 fruit trees, had like 100 beehives. So I did like a lot of agricultural stuff, worked for the USDA, doing grant writing. I also wrote other grants for my nonprofit, sat on boards appointed by the mayor of the city to oversee commercial projects in the city of Kansas City for $20 to $100 million projects. Sustainability board for the city of Kansas City, Missouri. So there's a lot of different things there in the States. It just was time to leave. I tried to apply for some medical marijuana licenses, like 5 of them. So African Americans only make up 3% of the medical marijuana field. And it's reflective on when I tried to apply for my license, I was unable to get not 1 license out of 5. And so that was pretty much a turning point. It was like, you know what, I'm through with the U.S. I'm leaving. I'm looking at other opportunities. So I came to Ghana to find different opportunities that exist here.
And then coming to Ghana, I mean, in the U.S. with what you shared with us, I can clearly see that you were very big on agriculture, right? Is that something that you have implemented coming to Ghana, or you've just concentrated on real estate since you came to Ghana?
I also do tours, so right now I'm just concentrating on tours and real estate. So we'll do some agriculture. So we're gonna be planting. Yeah, we're gonna be planting fruit trees and gardens around the property. Probably building some aquaponic systems. But mainly right now, just concentrating on real estate and bringing people here for Ghana for tours.
All right. And since you've been to Ghana, have you tried out tilapia? Because you mentioned that you had a tilapia farm. So have you tried Ghana tilapia?
Yeah, I tried the tilapia, nice fresh grilled tilapia. You know what I mean? Eat it with some banku. You know what I mean?
You've tried banku?
Yeah, I tried banku.
Okay, wait. Before I go to my next question, right? Which Ghanaian food have you tried that you've absolutely loved? I need one favorite.
My favorite is probably red with okra stew being a close second. Because okra stew kind of resembles or tastes like what we call gumbo back in the States.
Oh, okay.
You know, the only thing difference is we don't eat it with banku, we eat it with rice. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So Ghanaians be getting on me like, you ain't supposed to eat it with
No,
white rice,
no,
you gotta
no,
eat it
no,
with
no, no.
banku.
You could just imagine how my face. I was like, what? Okra with
Yeah,
rice.
you eat it with rice to change your life.
Oh,
You know what I mean? And so
okay.
it's
That's something I
similar.
can try.
Yes, it's similar to what we call, like I said, jambalaya. Not jambalaya, but gumbo. Because you use okra, different meats inside of there. So it's real similar to that.
Okay. And you've red is like your favorite with a fried plantain?
Yeah, fried plantain. That's the only way to have it.
Okay. And can you make it yourself?
Yes, I can.
Can you walk us through the process?
Oh my goodness. The rare, it's like for those, well, most of the artists from Ghana or the States?
Ghana.
Okay. Yeah, so in the States, it's similar to black-eyed peas. We call them black-eyed peas. I don't know what you guys call it here.
Beans.
Beans. Beans, so you got your beans, your palm oil. So we usually tend to eat black-eyed peas in the States, but you use for red. You know, and so it's almost, we use black-eyed peas like we eat them on New Year's, like the day of New Year's, which is my birthday. It's like a celebratory dish almost, and we eat it with what's called cornbread. I don't know if you guys eat cornbread here.
No.
You
We don't
know,
have
so
cornbread.
it's similar to that. So you stew the beans with the palm oil. You got the onions, a little tomato paste inside of there. So yeah, a little something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We do.
Okay.
But like the plantains, make sure they're nice and ripe and sweet. You know what I mean? And you can put your little meat in there. So whether it's fish or chicken, X, Y, and Z, and some of your spices. You know what I mean? So
I'm actually asking this because I was going through your socials and I realized that you love to cook. So I was like, okay, so that's nice. I'm sure that there are some Ghanaian foods that you've learned how to cook. Maybe the next one would be like banku. Banku is not hard. Banku is not hard to make. So maybe the next one would be like banku with like your okra stew. It would be amazing. Anyway, so coming back to Ghana, right? Is this the first African country you've been to?
yeah, it's the first and only.
Really?
Yeah, I just kept coming back and forth to Ghana. Before I moved here, I probably came back about 6 to 8 times. Just back and forth.
What's so special about Ghana?
The peace,
Okay.
having a peace of mind, the opportunities, the culture. You don't worry about the systematic BS that's in the States. You know what I mean? And so it's a lot of things that Ghanaians don't realize that you have here.
Like
the peace,
okay,
the
that's
peace
true.
of mind. You know, for instance, you have 400,000 black men in jail in the United States. Ghana has less than 15,000 people in jail. You know what I mean? And so they earn money off the backs of black men. The average cost to put somebody in jail in the United States is $50,000 a year.
Whoa.
So they'd rather have you in jail so they can make money, $50,000 off of you. And so it's like a system that Ghanaians don't understand. You know, they want to go to the States, but understand the consequences of actions that you don't have to do nothing. And you realize that life is not that serious in Ghana. Like me driving with a crack license or crack windshield is not a license to be killed or taken to jail. You know what I mean? The stuff you see with people driving in Ghana is like, oh, that's a jailable offense. That's a jailable offense. You going to jail for this. You go to jail for anything in the States. Ghana, not so much. Life is not that serious where you have to spend time behind the bars for a traffic violation or get killed for a traffic violation. You know what I mean? And so when you realize those simple things makes life a little easier.
So I mean, coming to Ghana, right? There are so many industries you could have invested in. Agriculture, one. And then there's real estate, and there are other things, right? But you decided to venture into real estate and then now tours, right? What made you pick this industry to say that this is where I want to concentrate on?
Well, I didn't plan on doing real estate when I came to Ghana. I came to live the easy life. So I bought 3 plots of land. I was trying to find land on the beachfront. I'm closing in on some land on the beachfront. So you know how buying land in Ghana is tricky and making sure the litigation issues and X, Y, and Z. And so I couldn't find beachfront land. I was going back and forth. from the States to Ghana trying to find beachfront. I just couldn't find no legitimate, genuine land. And so I had a friend of mine who brought me here to Ghana, made my stay a little easier. And he introduced me to a guy that lived on the next junction over from where we're at here. And he introduced me to this land here. So it was like 3 plots. And I was going to build my house on 3 plots of land. And then, you know, when I was showing people the process, X, Y, and Z, and bringing people here for tours, and like, hey, I want you to build for me. And one thing led to another. And so I had to start thinking about building for other people, getting renderings, drawings, putting together a plan. And all of a sudden I became a developer overnight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like it was in my plans to be this developer. It just happened to fall in my lap, basically.
Okay. So how many plots of land do you have now, like when it comes to the Beyond Investment?
It's about 17 plots, so it's not big, but we'll do a total of 105 units on the 17 plots that we have.
Okay, and everything is in one locality, or you have it dispersed
Everything's
around?
in one spot, one general area.
Okay, so what's the name of this area?
Obosomasi.
Obosomasi. Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
So we can see all the trees, everything is so beautiful. Was that the reason why you decided to develop here? Or you really wanted like a hideout place, or any place would have worked actually for you?
Yeah, I like the view. I like the peace. It was all bush, so I had a clear road to get to the property here. I couldn't see my land. We like it in the middle of the bush, so the pillar was here.
Yeah.
Couldn't see anything. I couldn't see the mountains over there because it was like I said, it was all bush and trees. And so they're like, yeah, this is your land here, this is your land. I'm like, what? I couldn't figure things out, you know, but as I went higher into the land, I could see the view, and then I could see the lights at night, you know what I mean? And so for those in the States, it's like almost like a California view, you know, and so in California, the same property that we're sitting on with the same view here, it would probably cost you like $2 million, $3 million USD for the same view and property.
And how would it cost you here in Ghana?
So this is 180 USD, or the Ghana equivalent. I don't know what the Ghana equivalent is now because it's changing every day almost. But it comes with, you know, solar, rooftop pool, you know, and so offering these amenities that you really can't get in Ghana. So we'll build a roller skating rink that's going to serve as an event space. When we do the condos, we'll have a rooftop restaurant, rooftop pool, a gym, a spa, laundromat, clinic that has a nurse in it 24 hours, a pharmacy. And so just trying to have almost like an all-inclusive type space here when it's all said and done.
So these are all projections of what is to come. But before we see what we see here now, what are some of the things that you had to put in place to make this possible? Because we're coming and realized that the road has been graded. I'm like, did you have to do all this on your own?
You have to do all that. You have to do all that, you know, so I had to put the road in, we had to put in street lights, we had to put in street poles, I still have to put in more street lights. So we have to talk to the assembly. Hopefully we can get a paved road from the main junction all the way here, so we see how that goes. But you know, the community been pretty supportive. You know, the chief has been supportive of what we've been doing. The police have been supportive here. We built a community here. We're gonna put a free learning lab in the community. I just got back from the States, so I brought back like this 20-foot inflatable projector with a projector screen to do like movie night for the kids, you know what I mean, like once a month.
That would be lovely.
So these are some things that we want to bring back, so we just not just coming here inside the community and not giving back to the people here. So we have people that work here that lives in the community. We have women who come by, sell food to my guys, and so these are some things where people don't see the impact you have on the community when you're doing development.
Okay, so you've spoken about the support that you got from the community, that's the people, the chief, etc. But have you gotten any kind of support from like the government of Ghana, seeing all the good that you're doing? Are there like any cutbacks that you've enjoyed because of all those good things you're doing, or?
No, you know, we had a partnership with the Sport Office of the President and expired. It was a 3-year partnership that expired last year. So with the new administration, we're going to revisit that to see, you know, how we can collaborate, maybe the tourism sector. But Ghana has a lot of needs, and I don't want to jump the line from people who need more support than what I need. You know what I mean? And so as long as they allow me to operate and do what I need to do, I'm fine. Just maybe, just seeing the impact that we have when we come here is just documenting that process to see, okay, you see people who's able to thrive when they move here, support the community, develop. So just putting eyes on people who's doing good things in the community.
Okay, awesome. And then when you were talking earlier, you were talking about buying a land here. I am a native, right? Born and raised in Ghana, and still buying land here in Ghana for me is like very tricky. Right? It's very, very tricky. Nobody cares whether you're born and raised in Ghana or you're coming from outside the country. The challenges you're going to face would be almost quite similar, right? So you were talking about some of the challenges that you had to go through trying to get like a land at specific places you wanted, and also some diasporans also now falling on your lap and being like, can you help us within this process, right? So what are some of the challenges that you had to endure, and how were you able to overcome those challenges?
As far as land is concerned, with this property, I didn't have any challenges. Other properties I try to go to, not so much. You know what I mean? Because people sell land they don't own. And if you don't do your due diligence, go above and beyond what the average person might do, then you'll end up in court, which is like 90% of the cases of land issues in court in Ghana. And so get a good licensed surveyor, get a lawyer, a law firm, a good law firm, and you should be good. You know what I mean? That's what I tell people. It's better to spend a little bit of money up front than try to get it back on the back end, because it's going to be a long process trying to get your money back once you spend it. Don't give nobody no money up front. You know what I mean? Make sure everything is everything before you give anybody any money. Go to your lawyers and make sure everything is everything, like I said before. You give anybody no money, that's the best advice I can give you.
Absolutely. And I mean, looking at the process of getting land here in Ghana and comparing it to like the US, what do you think that the country can do to make it better for me, for the diaspora, and for anybody at all, to make land buying in Ghana not tricky? Because that's what everybody says, it's tricky. And it's like we've come to accept the fact that it's tricky. So how can we make it not tricky?
It needs to be digitalized. You need to go online and be able to find ownership of the property. You need to be able to find out if there's court cases on the property and land you want to buy. Those two things will make things a whole lot easier when everything is online, digitalized, and the lands that you're interested in, you can just look up and see who actually owns the land. But a lot of times land is not registered, which is a problem. They might just have an indenture on the land. And so those are some issues that can be rectified by just digitalizing and making it a lot easier online. We don't have to go through the hoops and all those different things you got to go through here. You got to come to the property, you got to test the land, put some stuff on there, some bricks or some sand. You have to talk to people in the community to see what's going on with the land, see who owns it. It's just all these different things you have to go through, you know what I mean, that you shouldn't have to go through to find land. In the States, it's a lot easier. Everything is online. There's what's called an escrow. They have escrow here, but probably 90% of people don't know what an escrow account here is. And so you put your money into an account. And so until everything checks out, it's like a bank account where your money stays in for the property. And so the money don't get dispersed into the property owner that was selling the property until all the paperwork checks out. So it safeguards everybody in the process to make sure that nothing as bad is going on. So once the registration goes through and you can check that, then that's when the money is released. But until all documentation, all checks and balances have been checked, nobody gets any money, nothing goes through until everything is documented.
Absolutely. I mean, these are things that we can definitely put in place, right? But I wanted to ask you a little bit more about your organization, right? The Beyond Investment. Can you tell us more about the Beyond Investment?
Yeah, so, 2019 when I came was the year return, and then they marked 2020 as the Beyond. Now it's beyond 2019. And so the beyond investments came where now we coming back, investments, we're coming back to invest now. We came back, we celebrated, we partied. Daddy December 19, 2020 beyond. Now we coming back, coming to live, we coming to thrive, we coming to invest back at the community. So that's where we came up with the beyond investments. Now we coming back to invest, live, and support, and do our part here in Ghana.
Okay, awesome. And then what's the vision for the Beyond Investment in the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? Do you still see yourself in Ghana, or you would have wrapped up? Or
Yeah, probably next 5 years, probably have maybe 2 more developments in me, possibly. And then I'm done. Just trying to come and chill. Like honestly, I come here to work hard, and I just came here to enjoy the peace and quiet. I didn't come from a peace and quiet place.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I'm used to hearing gunshots. Half my friends have been killed. And so this is peace. There's people in jail, a lot of people in jail. So to make it this long is like you lucky to make it to this age and not have the issues you have in the States. So I don't know how long I got left to live, but the rest of my life I'm just trying to enjoy it for however long I have. You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm trying to do, hopefully at the next 5 years.
Beautiful. And you keep talking about the peace of Ghana, right? I can testify to that because then very peaceful country. You're very calm people, right?
Right.
Yeah. But I wanted to ask you this question. Aside Ghana, do you look forward to entering into other African markets, or this is enough for you?
Not so much. People ask me all the time, can you help me build in Sierra Leone, Uganda, Tanzania? But what people understand when you're developing is that you have to build a relationship in the community. I can't just come to a place and put a house there.
Yeah.
Nah, you have to make friends, you have to develop relationships, you have to see where the resources are at. And so it's a lot of work when you're doing development. It's more than just putting buildings up and putting people inside of a house. It's building a community in which you're trying to live in and want people to live in. And so this just isn't a house where somebody's gonna come live. They're coming to live in the community. Like we have a neighborhood association with people around the area. So there's a pilot that lives down at the bottom. There's community members, there's business owners that live around here. So we get together once a month or once a quarter to talk about how we can improve the community, looking at crime, looking at beautifying the area, putting up trees along the roads. And so things we discussing to make the community better as a whole. When they invited me in to be a part of that association, we'd be like, oh, you bringing that to Ghana? I'm like, no, they invited me. I didn't start it, you know what I mean? And so these are some things where you just don't put up. So I come from a community-minded field back in Kansas City. So just trying to have that same type of community here in Ghana.
Okay, so we're going to dive a little bit away from business, and I'm going to ask you, that was 1 or 2 cultural shocks, right? You saw or you've experienced whilst being in Ghana, like a cultural shock. You were like, really? Yeah.
Cultural shock. Probably when I first got here, peeing on the road, maybe. Because in the States, that's a sex crime.
What?
That's a sex crime.
Whoa.
If you urinating in public in the States, and the police catch you, you going to jail.
Whoa.
You going to jail. You know what I mean? And so to see somebody urinating in the streets. Other than that, maybe things that can improve on projects of sanitation.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of plastic, and just trying to figure out how to get away from that plastic. You know what I mean? And so just the sanitation things. But so at some point in time, I might address that once I'm done with the real estate. We're looking at maybe probably making bricks out of plastic at some point in time.
Nice.
But and then access to resources here. Uh, there's a lot of things that Ghana has that just haven't really tapped into. It's a lot of resources here.
Like,
The people. I think the people need to be invested into here. You know, I donated like 10,000 books, 300 backpacks, and some school supplies to a school one time, and they were still drawing a computer on the chalkboard. You know, that was a culture shock to see, still drawing a computer on a chalkboard because they didn't have a computer inside the school. I had a computer in the late '80s, I think, when I was in school. You know what I mean? That was almost 30 years ago. You know, and see the access that isn't here, that if they had the opportunity to be able to utilize that computer, because people want to learn here, then the investment, you wouldn't have to go to the States, you wouldn't have to go to Canada, you wouldn't have to go to Germany and all these other places, because the opportunities would exist here if they was here. And so that's where a lot of investment into the people here can be had, because you have everything you need here. It's just opportunities and people to see that investment inside of the people.
beautiful. And do you have your family here with you, or you're here
No,
alone?
I'm here alone. You know, I got my dogs, I got my monkeys. You know what I mean? So my family's all gonna come here, mother, sister, aunties and stuff, in December. So hopefully, well, this all will be done. The houses and duplexes all be finished so that we can stay here. You know, I don't think I have the road set of my stepfather's name, who passed a couple years ago, so mom can see that. We'll set it up on Google, so as soon as she drives down, she'll hear his name. You know what I mean? So it'll probably be an emotional moment for her. But yeah, just trying to bring the family here. My brother's been here, I had a cousin here, a couple cousins came here, so not my family as a whole.
Okay, awesome. And are you picking up on any cultural things here in Ghana? Like, for instance, a clear example is that maybe in the States, right, there'll be no issue if you were greeting and you're greeting someone with your left hand, or if you're giving something to someone and you were giving it to the person with your left hand. But in Ghana here, it's like forbidden, right? You dare not give something to someone. If I give you something and I was giving it to you with my left hand, I'll have to apologize, be like, oh, sorry for left, because I'm giving it to you with my left hand. So what are some of the cultural things that you're picking up, or you've
I'm picking up on it all. My tree, small, you know, and cry, you know what I mean? So I need to learn more, but I don't think nobody's gonna know when I know it. I just need to hear it and understand it. I'm not gonna speak it. I just want to hear it and understand it, so they don't know I know. But yeah, even when I did a video posting on eating some food one time, because I had a camera set, it makes it look like you eating with your left hand.
Yeah.
And so somebody, oh, you eat with your left hand? Like, I know what hand I eat with. So we went back and forth for like 5 minutes on them telling me what I'm eating with my hand, because they see something different. But yeah, picking up on a lot of different things here culturally wise, you know, greetings. You know, every time you see somebody, it's always a greeting. So you force to talk to people here. It's not like that in the States. So yeah, a lot of different things you're picking up on. So
yeah, so we have our good mornings, right? Yeah, mache. Yeah. We have our please that people are like, why do you always exaggerate with your please?
Yeah.
You know, I chat with people and sometimes I have to go back and be like, I didn't add please. It just sounds so over. I have to add please.
Yeah.
Is it weird to you at all?
I see it as more of a colonization thing from the British being here.
Really?
That's what I see it as, coming from the outside looking in when they was here and the impact they had. The same how slavery was. So I see a lot of things differently, you know what I mean, on impacts on imperialism, you know what I mean, and slavery, all those different things that existed not only here but in the U.S. and see the effects of overseers. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, it's different. You know what I mean? But hey, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Beautiful. And we're about wrapping up our conversation, basically, right? And I'm going to ask you something else when it comes to like self-development, right? What's that one book or one movie or song that you've listened to that has really, really impacted your life that you can share with us?
One book I would probably say the destruction of the black civilization, and by Chancellor Williams, and it goes back to thousands of years BC up to now. Our issues, dealing from East Africa, West Africa, slavery, going to the United States, and things we need to do now to improve our lives, to get away, to make ourselves less vulnerable. So even when you see the dysfunctions here in Ghana, they serve as a function to someone else. Someone benefits from the dysfunction and misfunction that happens here in Ghana.
True.
And a lot of times people don't understand and see those things. They will think it's our fault. Oh, Ghanaians are this, Ghanaians are that. We don't know. Or back in the States, I was driving and got arrested because I was black. No, you didn't get arrested because you were black. You was arrested because they're white. It's not us. Because of my skin isn't an issue. It's who they are. It's the issue. And so the things that's dysfunctional here in Ghana serves as a function. So as long as there's chaos going on,
some people are benefiting.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so somebody else is winning. It's not the people that's winning.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so we look at the Glamsey issue. Who's benefiting from that Glamsey?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're fighting about X, Y, and Z. So it's a lot of things that, the book talks about. And there's a lot of other books, but that's probably the main one.
Okay. What are the values that guide you as a business person? In your personal life and as a business person?
Do your best work. Your character is your business card. You know what I mean? Who you are is your business card wherever you go. When you do people wrong, that stuff will follow you. You know what I mean? And so always do your best work, have good character, have integrity, and that'll take you a long way. Even though there's a lot of people here in Ghana, Ghana's small, I run into people all the time. And so just imagine if I did bad business for one person, and go online, and so they would make it seem as if I do it all the time. You know what I mean? And so treat people like I want to be treated, and hopefully things work out. And so those are the things I live by. Treat people like I want to be treated and do my best work and have character and integrity in whatever I do.
Okay. So like I said, we're wrapping up our conversation. I've been saying this. We're really wrapping up our conversation. So you've tried Red, you've tried Banku with Okro. I think those are the two things that you mentioned.
Wachi.
You tried Wachi?
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. We could have bought you Wachi when we were coming. So what's that one Ghanaian food that you've not tried yet and you're looking forward to trying?
I don't know what I haven't. I've tried palm nut soup, groundnut soup, fufu. I try a lot of different foods, you know what I mean? And so I don't know what I haven't tried yet. So
we can suggest one. Have you tried tozafi?
No.
Yeah, you should try it. It comes with a green soup, right? And it has like another stew made separately that has like lots of protein in it. So it could be like fish, meat. No, I've never seen one with chicken before. So like meat, fish, and then you mix it with a green soup. You'd absolutely love it. So you try it, you get back to us, and you let us know what you think about it.
And see, sometimes I got to be careful on the meat.
Really?
You know what I mean? Because sometimes you don't know what that meat is. You know what I mean? It could be some bush meat, and I'm not eating all that bush meat. You know what I mean? So
you've not tried bush meat?
No.
Really?
What's that big thing? Grass cutter.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
you've not tried it.
I'm not eating no grass cutter.
Okay. Next time you try it, or next time someone convinces you to try it, you just let us know how it goes.
I will
right?
do.
Absolutely. So thank you so much. Are there any last words that you have for all of us? What would you like to say to everybody out there who watched us today? Anybody watching us today?
I think it's a great time to be in West Africa. You see the things happening in Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger. Now I think Togo is, linking up with those guys over there. And so really, what Kwame Nkrumah was talking about and doing, you see a lot of those countries now unifying, and hopefully Ghana gets on board and starts being active with those countries. So definitely watch those guys and see the revolution that's transpiring now.
Beautiful. And then we would like to have like your final words to, with consent to Beyond Investments. What are your projects ahead? What are you looking forward to accomplishing in the next couple of months? What should we look forward to? Yeah.
Yeah, just look forward to seeing the videos on social media,
Okay.
seeing the progress, and yeah, just checking it out online.
Absolutely. So where can we find you if somebody wanted to reach out to you? Are you open to receiving clients, customers, new customers?
Yeah, the Beyond Investments .com or on Instagram, the Beyond Investments.
Okay. And you personally, where can we find you?
Instagram, Dre Taylor 51.
Absolutely.
DRE Taylor 51. Yes.
All right. So thank you all so much. I have one very last question for you. I know that I said those was our last question. I don't know why the question keeps coming, right? But I have like one final question for you, right? If you were to describe Ghana in like one word, aside peaceful, because you're going to mention peaceful. So aside peaceful, if you were to describe Ghana in 3 words, right?
I'll give you one.
Okay, what is fine?
Home.
Home. Beautiful. So Ghana is home to anybody that just steps into Ghana the first time. Absolutely peaceful. I'm being an ambassador for Ghana today, right? Peaceful. If you've not been to Ghana, come to Ghana. And if you're coming to Ghana, you can get to explore Ghana through Akwaaba app. You can always also reach out to Mr. Dre Taylor. You see his socials scrolling on our screen as we're talking right now. Thank you so much. My name is Akosia, and it's been such an amazing conversation. I have learned a whole lot, right? I've learned a lot, and like he said, let your character be your business card. You don't know where you're going to pop up, and then your character is going to be your greater testimonial. So thank you, and let's all have a very lovely day. Bye, everybody.